A woman says to her maid, "Do you know any work besides causing damage in my house? Every time something gets spoiled because of you." Her husband is secretly watching everything. The maid says to the mistress, "Please forgive me. It happened by mistake." The arrogant mistress replies, "I will never tolerate this again. Next time, I will throw you out of this house." The maid then starts picking up the spilled lentils from the floor and begins crying over her helplessness. Later, the maid says to her husband while crying, "Today, the mistress scolded me a lot. I am forced to stay here because I cannot leave this job. If I quit, our livelihood will become very difficult. On top of that, you are ill and unable to work, and at this age, no one will give me another job. But I feel very helpless here, and I don't know what to do. I am trapped from every side by the cruel waves of time." At that moment, the master calls the maid. She says to her husband, "I will talk to you later," and goes to him saying, "Yes, sir. Did you need something?" The kind-hearted master says, "No, I wanted to talk to you. I saw my wife shouting at you earlier. Is everything all right?" The maid replies, "Sir, that is just her habit. If there is even a small loss in the house, she starts shouting at me." The master says, "Why would anyone treat a poor person like this? I am shocked that my wife has become so rude." The maid cries and says, "I am very troubled by her behavior, but I am working here because of my majburi, helpless circumstances." The kind master says, "Don't worry, I will teach her a lesson. You should go home for a few days." The maid replies, "No, I cannot do that. The mistress will never let me come back." He says, "Don't worry about that. I will handle her." He gives the maid some money and says, "Take this and fulfill your and your husband's needs. If you need anything else, feel free to tell me." The maid thanks him and says, "Let me at least wash the dishes before leaving." But the master replies, "No, my wife will do that now. She will take care of the house herself for a few days." The maid thanks him and leaves. When the arrogant wife sees the housework left undone, she starts shouting at the maid. But her husband comes and says, "Why are you shouting so much?" She says, "Look, all the household work is left undone, and the maid is missing. Who will do all this now?" The husband says, "If she isn't here, you do it." She laughs and says, "As if I have ever done housework before. I'll call her right now." As she starts calling, the husband says, "No need to call her. She is right here." The maid comes, hands over her apron to the master, and says, "Please keep this. I am leaving," and walks away. The arrogant wife says, "Why did you let her go?" The kind husband replies, "Now you will make up for how you treated her." She says, "What did I even do that you are punishing me?" He says, "You attack her for the smallest mistakes. Aren't you ashamed? At least respect her age. Now you will handle the housework yourself until you learn empathy." The wife says, "I can't do all this alone." The husband replies, "If you have the strength to shout at her alone, you have the strength to manage the house too." He picks up the apron and says, "Wear this and go wash the dishes in the kitchen. I don't want to hear another word." The arrogant wife shouts, "How will I do this? My hands will get dirty. Have some mercy on me." The husband replies, "I want the whole house cleaned quickly," and walks away. So viewers, tell us in the comments, did the husband do the right things? If you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share it.